Hello and welcome once more here on the channel Language Check. As you know, our current episodes are dealing with the German language, and so this episode here will provide you again with some basic understanding of the German language. Last time we had a look at the different possibilities of greeting someone in German, and today we'll have a look on how to say to someone goodbye in different situations or with different intentions. So without losing any precious time here on YouTube, I will show you how it goes right away. Similar to last time, I prepared again a new tabloid for you guys, so you have a whole overview of the different possibilities of how to say goodbye properly in German. So again, I decided to divide it like in 3 columns, which show the standard German expressions, the kind of traditional ones, and in the 3rd column we have those which are taken over from other languages and which have been already traditionalized in German, or are, well, sometimes again used to be like a foreigner, to act like a foreigner from that specific country, or, well, just for fun, of course. And the first column you see here shows you again from the upper part till the parts below which expressions are more or less colloquial ones and so informal. So, as you all have heard when you started learning German, there is one which is Auf Wiedersehen. You can also make a bit shorter here and say Wiedersehen. Yeah? Auf Wiedersehen is the more polite one. The next one is Leben Sie wohl if you are very formal, or Lebt wohl if you're talking to many people in front of you, or simply Leb wohl if it's one person you're talking to. So, but this one means just like have a nice life, bye, most probably won't see each other again. This is when you use this one. So, of course, this is a specific situation. You don't use this kind of expression every day. Machen Sie es gut. It's pretty much the same, but a little bit more casual. Yeah. So you can also say here later on. If you have a look on the bottom part here, the very last line, there is Macht's gut for many people and Mach's gut for one person, and I marked it yellow here because this one now is used more, yeah, than the very official one, because here you just can say in a casual way like see ya. So Mach's gut, it is used, of course, much more often than the more official one, Machen Sie es gut. Yeah. Of course, other official ones, if you jump back to the upper part here, schönen Tag or schönen Abend noch. Schönen Tag noch, schönen Abend noch. This is how you say in a polite and very nice way to someone, like have a good day, have a good evening. This is what you can say to someone. You can also go for like one person, a colleague, of course, if you go for the you person, like hab einen schönen Abend, hab einen schönen Tag, or if you're talking to a group like a class, you could say habt einen schönen Abend, habt einen schönen Tag. This is what you can do. Of course, if it is very late in the evening, you could say simply Gute Nacht, yeah? To say bye to someone in the late evening or at night time, you can say Gute Nacht, good night. And then more often used phrases and expressions here, if you simply want to say until which time, so bis wann. So this is the idea, bis wann. Wann, it's just the questioning word for when, until what time, until when. This is how you would have the idea here, and all you have to do now is to put those expressions here instead of wann, instead of when. So you name your time here with bis. So you could go, for example, like bis nächste Woche, until next week. And so you can name several days of the week, bis Dienstag, bis nächsten Dienstag, bis nächsten Donnerstag. You actually can leave this nächsten or nächste away if you don't want to say next. Yeah, you just can go for the date directly. And so you can say bis zum nächsten Wochenende, until next weekend, for example. Or very simple, bis zum nächsten Mal, bis nächstes Mal. Yeah, this is how you can go for here, and if you say until next time. Or in a very short way, bis demnächst. Bis demnächst. And this one you can use in your spoken language, but you can also use it in the written language pretty well, because it's also can be used for a formal style as well. Yeah, to name the time, but a time which will be soon, but you don't know when exactly. So if you go for more, like bis dahin, there is a longer period of time before your meeting occurs again, so bis dahin. Or if it is a quite shorter time, if you mean like after a course or after something happened in the future, in the next possible future, maybe on the same day, you would say bis nachher, until after that, yeah, bis nachher. If you have more shorter time periods which occur basically on the same day or even in the same hour, you would try to say something like bis später, which means until later. Or if it is a even shorter time period, you would say bis gleich, well, like in a couple of minutes or in an hour at least, yeah, bis gleich. If it is about like 1 or 2 hours, or maybe even 1 or 2 days, you would say bis bald. Bis bald, until soon. See you soon. This is what it means here. And maybe something, if you are not sure about when it will happen, some indifferent time in the future, you would say bis dann. Bis dann. Until then. And maybe a last thing here to mention is wir sehen uns. Oder man sieht sich. Man sieht sich. It's pretty casual, like see you soon, like, or we see each other, if you translate it word for word. So man sieht sich. Yeah? Pretty casual here. If you go for a more regional type of saying bye, you would have here expressions such as gehaben Sie sich wohl. This is pretty old-fashioned and sounds kind of fancy in German, and not used much on some rare occasions in some specific communities, more on the, well, traditional parts of Germany. So you would say in a very polite way, gehaben Sie sich wohl. If you go for many people again in front of you, like a crowd, a class, gehabt euch wohl, gehabt euch wohl. Or for one person, gehabt dich wohl. So this is nothing you should memorize actually, but it's nice to know, or at least to have heard it once, so you understand what someone might have said. Ich wünsch dir was. It's pretty casual, but it's still nice. It's nice to say to someone, ich wünsch dir was. Like, I wish you the best, something like this. Yeah. You imply here at least to wish the best. Although you say something with was. Ich wünsch dir was. Ich wünsch euch was. You can go for many people as well. Schönen Tag auch. You know Tag from the previous episode, to greet someone. But here you can use it in order to say to someone bye in a more northern German dialect maybe. You would hear it and say schönen Tag auch. Yeah? That's a pretty nice but very casual and kinda well, dialectal way, colloquial way. So it goes for bis denne. Bis denne is more an expression some youths tend to use it here in Germany. This is from my experience at least. So bis denne, That's what you can say in a more casual way. Hau rein, that's what I actually like to say. Hau rein, which means like do it well, or keep up the good work. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What is implied here with hau rein. You can also tell it to many people like haut rein, haut rein. And in the same manner, but not quite often to hear, and it's actually funny to say that one, halt die Ohren steif, or for many people, haltet die Ohren steif. Like, also keep your head up, something like this. More in a dialectal way you would have here, and actually more in a northern dialectal way of Germany, you would say den mach's mal gut, den mach's mal gut. If you travel down to the south of Germany, you most likely will hear something like ade. Ade is nice to say. In Bavaria, for example, it is used quite often, of course, and which is actually derived from French, but it was traditionalized and Germanized, and so it became ade, which you can hear in Franconia, some northern part of Bavaria. So in a more kind of sweet way, adele, adele, yeah. But it's not very often to hear. You rather hear ade. And of course, servus or servus, which you can say not only for greeting someone, as you remembered from the previous episode, which you can, by the way, look up here on the info button, and you can also use it to say bye to someone. And for the last column here, again, it's about some expressions which are from other languages, which you can use in German, but, well, as I told you, in a more funny way, or if you want to relate to this culture. So again, I start with the French language, which, yeah, for many, I think for many other cultures sounds to be more eloquent in so many ways. Well, you have here adieu, which in the French language, as I remember it correctly, means something like leb wohl, to say like bye and you don't expect to see the person again. But in German you can say it also in a more casual way. You just say like bye, yeah? You expect the person to see again. So this is the difference. So adieu, yeah? Just to be more funny or nice sounding. And so you can say the word au revoir, yeah? To be even more polite or more French, you can say au revoir, and this is why I didn't mark it yellow, because it's not used that often here in German. Same way you can go for the Spanish language and say adios. You can also sometimes say like the full phrase here, adios amigos, like, yeah, that's what you can do and people will understand you, that you're doing it in a funny way here. And so something maybe from the Italian language like arrivederci, arrivederci, yeah? So you can say it here, but it's not quite often to hear, very rarely, very rarely to hear. But what is pretty often to hear in German, which is also from the Italian language, is ciao. I use it pretty often on the daily basis, so ciao. And of course something from the English language here that I use to explain you so many expressions here already, bye. Like from goodbye, but you don't say goodbye in German. This is not common to do, but you say the short form of it, bye. Bye, yeah. And the last one, which is actually used again more in the southern parts and of Germany and in Austria as well, much often in Austria actually, is Bussi, yeah. But this is like in a sweet way, and I don't like to use it actually because it sounds awful in my ears. Yes, it's more like a fancy way to say bye, Bussi. Something that girls might use much often because it's actually derived from Kussi, like from like kisses, like in a sweet way to say kisses, yeah. So Bussi is in German used not that much, but it exists. So this is why I didn't mark it yellow. Alright, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, you're welcome to subscribe. If you have an idea or a suggestion which parts of the German language I should point out for you in a more broader spectrum, so you can write it down in the comments and ask me any question you like. So, see you next time. Auf Wiedersehen. Macht's gut. Bye.